Good afternoon, good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. First of all, excuse me for allergies because they are brutal today. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shock campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by Autistics for Autistics. In it, they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused, so you know the drill, folks. Please read the article, share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC actually does see through with their threat. Trigger warning 1. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center and Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to utilize the headphones. Sorry, allergies. Trigger warning 2. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is very much advised, alright? Okay. As we have explained, providers and researchers' concerns about intentionally inflicting such conditions upon a vulnerable patient population led to advances in behavioral therapy. The institution era, once that got exposed to the world, horrified the world, folks. Where you saw the developments in behavioral therapy and the emphasis on mental health came out of the horrors being exposed of the institution age and how they treated those with mental health issues and neurodevelopmental issues. Okay? They knew something needed to be done. So that's when they began to develop these alternative treatments that are not based off of violence in order to provide treatment in regards to various neurodivergent and mental health issues. Okay? All of that was birthed from the anti institution movement that really got its legs during the late to mid 1970s. In fact, reference 2 advocated for active research to establish alternative forms of treatment because he recognized the ethical concerns presented by this treatment, particularly in a patient population that cannot give consent. In other words, when he's looking at this treatment, he knows in his soul that what he's seeing isn't right. That treatment should not include, hear me on this, intentional harm. Let's go back to his surgery analogy, even though it is literally the difference between an Apple and a Mack truck going down I-44. The difference is, right? Good God, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Essentially, what he was saying is people being terrorized into catatonia, all right? As a doctor, you take an oath to not cause intentional harm. In regards to things such as surgery, the doctors go out of their way with multiple procedures, practices, medicines, you name it, to make the person receiving that surgery as comfortable and painless as humanly possible. The GED device is intended to cause harm. A doctor is not supposed to cause intended pain, intended harm. Okay? As a side effect of a surgery or a procedure, yes, there's going to be some pain and discomfort, but none of that is inflicted intentionally. It is a side effect. It is not something that the doctor did not do the surgery to the patient in order to cause them harm, in order to cause them pain. A doctor who is using a GED device or signing off on a GED device to be used on the child is engaging in intentional harm being done to that child in a situation where that child is given no voice. Okay? In the case of using ESDs for SIB or AB, the ethics of using restrictive interventions on a population contributed to the evolution of treatments and of understanding their attendant risks. In other words, what you see in modern medicine now, a lot of that has evolved out of that time period. It's coming from the horrors of what was exposed in regards to the institutions during the anti-institution era that began in the 70s. Okay? That's when you saw more emphasis on mental health, having the aids and the resources out in the community instead of housing these people so horribly. That's when you started to see more developments for the neurologically disabled, like Ma. Oh, you see what I'm saying, right? That being said, it is still coming from a toxically ableist mindset. There are still issues with things that are considered the gold standard. Don't get me started on ABA, because that is a subject that deserves proper time, research, and study devoted to it. And right now, I don't have that kind of time. But hopefully, when the JRC is let go of the way of the dodo, we'll be able to start getting into ABA and its horrors. But at the end of the day, what is being said here is that every modern doctor, researcher, and scientist concerned in regards to this treatment that have stepped forward and spoke on it is those ethical concerns. It is this idea that you will intentionally, willfully cause harm, physical harm to a child that they are unable to oppose or consent to. And the fact that it is polar opposite of the Hippocratic oath that you take when you become a doctor. All right, there is a major difference between side effects of surgery and intentional harm. If you can't see that, well, I don't know what to tell you. Seek help. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and close out for the day. You don't get very many, we don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, you know the drill. If you could, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you in a little while. Bye bye, everyone. Caesar, we who are about to die salute you.